But as we've seen, our two guests here very clearly passionate about politics, but it has to be said, you can't say that of everyone. Surveys show that people are feeling more disconnected than ever before. Now, one former Nottingham charity worker has set up a national campaign to teach people the importance of politics. Anna Joy Rickard became so committed, she's now a Labour councillor. She wants more people in their 20s and 30s to get involved, whatever their politics.
Hi, my name's Anna Joy Rickard and I've started a national campaign to get more people of my generation interested in and involved in politics. Our generation is amazing, and when there are causes that we care about, we can mobilise really quickly around them, like the recent Ice Bucket Challenge. But when it comes to politics and the really important decisions that affect our country and our everyday lives, so many times people of my generation are missing from the debate. And that's a real problem. Less than half of people under the age of 35 voted in the last election. And when you ask people, 59% of people between the ages of 25 and 34 say that they know nothing or very little about politics. But interestingly, 61% say they would actually like to be better informed. It's really interesting because coming back to Nottingham and going back to my old work reminds me why I got involved in the first place.
Hi, nice to see you.
I started working in the charity sector on issues like child trafficking and children affected by their parents' drug and alcohol misuse. And I began to realise that the things that we wanted to change, it all depended on decision makers making the right decisions. And those decision makers were politicians. So I've set up a campaign called No One Ever Told Me About Politics. There are lots of volunteers now working on it. One of the really exciting projects is called Ask Amy. Ask Amy is a new app. It makes finding out about politics as easy as texting a friend. I'm running a campaign called No One Ever Told Me About Politics. Do you feel like you know about politics?
There's been always talk about politics, like friends and schools everywhere, but it's just not my thing. It's never been really into it.
What would you like to see to make politics more relevant and more accessible for people our age?
I think it just needs to be delivered in a more captivating way that maybe the younger kids would feel like they can actually relate to it or understand it.
So if you want to try and vote, it's not really any clear way to learn about all the parties and everything.
As I've just found out, not feeling like people know about politics or can access it is really common amongst people my age. This is a massive opportunity for the next general election and for parties and politicians to sit up and take notice of a whole generation.
Well, Anna Joy Rickard setting out a very clear challenge to you there. You need to be engaging people on Facebook and Twitter. Is that happening?
Absolutely. I mean, I think almost all candidates now have Facebook and Twitter and other forms of social media. I think what Anna Joy proves is how important it is for young people to get involved. They might not like political parties, they may be cynical about the political process, but it is the only way to change things, and it's why I got involved.
Catherine, Anna Joy said that her generation and your generation can become mobilised when you want to, often through social media. So perhaps they're actually bypassing Parliament altogether. It's going to become irrelevant.
Well, I think that there's certainly something in the fact that they're not associating activism with party politics, but I really think that we should congratulate Anna Joy. I think she's doing a brilliant job and she is engaging a new generation in politics, which is so important to do. But as you say, around issues, people are engaged. When I spoke to Friesland, the sixth form in my local area where I live in Sandyacre, they were engaged and their greatest priority was the living wage. Now that's something that is important to me, but I'll be campaigning on it because I'm listening to them.
So tell me more about why you wanted to go into politics then, Lee.
Well, my dad was a local milkman, and so when you're going around delivering milk at 6 o'clock every morning before you go to school, you see a lot of community and you see a lot about how important that is.
You hear what they think about stuff as well, yeah, all the time.
And so from that, I got a little bit annoyed about what Tony Blair was doing, and I think you always have to have something which switches you on. But combination of that, and I wanted to get involved in politics and try and change things.
Why? What do your mates in Chesterfield think of that, though? You becoming a Tory? candidates?
Some of them find it challenging. You know, I come from a mining background, so becoming a Conservative is something quite different. But ultimately, my personal views is that working class aspirations, working class things are exactly what the Conservatives are about. But fundamentally, politics is about changing. It's the only way to do it. So that's why I got involved.
What was your light bulb moment, if you like, Catherine?
I think one of the first political campaigns I remember, I was 8 years old, holding a candle outside an accident emergency in an overnight vigil, trying to protect it from closure under a Thatcher government. Right now, I'm campaigning to protect Ilkeston Community Hospital, which from tomorrow is going to close at night. Now, I would like to call on Cameron to actually stop that and have a proper public consultation. But I think the NHS for so many people is something that really
That's
gets
what
them
got
involved.
you switched on to politics.